Hello, and thank you for coming to my channel. I am so super excited to show you a new line of papers that Country Craft Creations has put together for our crafting. These papers were designed by Jacqueline Hart of the Country Craft Creations design team, and I think you're going to fall in love with these papers and how easy it is for those of you who enjoy making junk journals, or for those of you who are afraid of making junk journals, this will be helpful. For those of you who like making vintage folios or vintage albums, vintage cards and tags, this paper collection is going to be fabulous. Now, this is just the first one in a series of more to come, but I want to walk you through the papers, and I want to show you some of the things that I have pulled together that I will use when I make a junk journal. Not sure yet of the cover, like if I'm going to use an old book, if I'm going to use chipboard, if I'm going to use used paper or manila folders. Haven't decided that yet, but I do want to take some time to show you these beautiful papers. Now, one of the things I want you to notice when I go through this is that there are no white borders. So the paper, the design goes from edge to edge, okay? So this is called Petals and Letters, and it's called a hybrid junk journal collection. So when you see the word hybrid, I want you to think of a combination of old and new. So obviously these papers are new, but they look old, but you can pull things from your stash that are both old and new to add to your project, just to kind of give it your personal touch. So let's kind of go through the collection first. So you'll get two pieces that have some ephemera that you can cut out. Now, I know that if you have a machine, which one is it? One of the machines, the Scan and Cut, the Brother Scan and Cut. There is a way to scan these and have it cut out these for you. If you enjoy fussy cutting, you can do the fussy cutting. But I like the variety. So this is supposed to look like washi tape. These are your page tabs. This is like the wax seal. And we do a lot of layering when we do junk journaling. So you'll get two sheets of these. Now, these are plain on the back for these first couple sheets. So this page, you can use these for the cut aparts. You can put inside of pockets. You can make them flips. You can make them tuck spots, but there's also these pockets then that already have the 1/2-inch border that you would just cut out and fold those 1/2-inch pieces back and easily glue it onto a page. Now, when you do these, you can use cardstock as the base, maybe ink the edges, and then use the paper on top of the cardstock if you want it to be a lot more durable. A lot of times you just use the paper by itself. There's the freedom to do anything that you want with these. That's what's so cool about them. Then you have this really pretty flower and just different size pockets, and you get two of those. So when I saw this, I almost fainted because I love it so much. There are 3 tags here. The patterns on them are so realistic. They look very lifelike. They look like texture, so that when you go to touch it, you're like, oh, that's flat. It looks like it's got dimension to it. There's 2 smaller tags, 2 medium tags. Again, we wanted to use every part of the paper, so we put in that flower there, so you can use that as your decorating and embellishing. These also are plain on the back. So a lot of times you can add this to a piece of cardstock or a piece of old coffee dyed paper or an old just so many things. I'm going to go through that in a second. I've got some things pulled. So then you'll get 2 of those. And you'll get 2 of these. So this is an envelope when you cut it and fold it. You have a lot of phrases that are awesome to use. Again, the reason for the black outline is so that you can use your Scan and Cut so it can read it and cut it out for you. But things like stories untold, timeless treasures, handwritten memories. You've got your postage stamp and more floral. So you get 2 of those. All right, so this is the exciting part. So like I said, you'll notice that the design goes all the way to the edges. You don't have to do any cutting. You can just fold these in half and there you go. Because these are printed front and back, okay? You'll get 3 sheets of each of these patterns, which is perfect. If you're wanting to use cardstock for your base, you can cut these in half and do a side-by-side that way if you want. You get to decide. That's one of the beauties of this paper line, but it's meant to be easy also. So like I said, just fold it in half. So you'll see a real pretty vintage theme. You'll see, when you look closely, you see things that are on the paper that you didn't even realize at a first glance. Like I see little pearls, I see lace patterns. Obviously there's hearts, but I see metal filigree, a little stamp, things tucked underneath one another. It was designed beautifully. And then on the other side, you've got the script. And again, you've got the design going all the way to the edge. You've got pink flowers with your hearts, some pearls. There's pearls here. There's like lace. This looks like it's petals falling. So this is absolutely gorgeous. So you get 3 sheets of that design. The torn material here looks like it's been, you know, aged, coffee dyed. It's awesome, awesome. So when I first saw this one, I thought, oh, great cover, because I love this. Now, you can use it like this, like I said, or it's about layering. It's about adding dimension and adding personal things that you want to remember, or things that maybe have been passed down. So you've got the butterfly. This is a great place for a photo or for journaling. So a lot of people say, well, what do you use a junk journal for? I use it for pictures, old pictures, and not even pictures of necessarily my family. I pick some up at garage sales and old antique shops. I just love old pictures. But you could also use it for journaling, memories, things like that. So this is the one side. This looks like a little book in the bottom. The flowers, the lace tucking out or coming out, music, notes. And then on the back, this one's a little bit more subtle again, so you can do some journaling if you want, and it just is a great opportunity for you to add some of your own personal things to layer. So 3 sheets of all these. So this is nice. It does actually have lines on the paper, so that would be a great one for journaling. These roses look so real. In person, it's just so much more vibrant probably than what you're seeing on the camera. The writing looks actually, you know, like it's real writing. On the back then, you have the more muted. Looks like we got some script. Again, pearls in the corner. But I just love that the pattern just goes all the way to the edge. I mean, how easy is that? Poof, done. So awesome. This is very, when I saw this, I thought, oh, this would make a great like baptismal memory book. There's the lace, we got some flowers, the music notes, the pink bow. To me, this is just very loving and gentle looking, I guess. And on the back, you have more the light pinks. There is a flower pattern in the background. So you could use it this way and fold it, or you can fold it this way. It doesn't matter. And you can cut, like I said. So this would be another one if you're doing a cover that is made out of paper. That would make a great cover. Start adding your laces and buttons and all sorts of fun stuff. So a lot more florals on this one. And here's the opposite side. Nice vibrant colors. This would be one that I would definitely add some laces, maybe vintage pictures that are a little bit less loud. So when I say vintage pictures, I might as well show you that when I have it. Like I said, I go to antique shops or garage sales or whatever, and I look for old photos, and I just love them. I usually look for the ones of either families, young children, or old-fashioned women. But how cool does that look? And then like I said, I'd have something, maybe a doily tucked underneath or off to the side here. Oh, love it. So I always look for vintage pictures. Now I'm not going to pay, I mean, at a garage sale, you can usually get them pretty realistic, but sometimes antique malls, a little bit too much for my liking. So 3 of these. Then we have the pattern over more on the left. The flowers, the pearls, script, hearts, lace, music notes, stamps, all sorts of stuff. Very old, vintagey looking. in a pretty way. So you can see why it's called Petals and Letters. Lots of flowers, lots of little things that look like ledgers and paper written on. This is a charm. You can see the button on the ribbon. And here's the opposite side. And this has more gray colors in this one. And I think we have one more. Yep. This is more the browns. That's like a wax seal down here with like a button on the inside, or like a gold inside. I see flowers. It's just fun to just look at it for a while and see what you notice. And then we've got more of a subtle pink on this side. These are so beautiful. So if we take a look, it's called the Hybrid Junk Journal Collection. It was designed by Country Craft Creations and Jacqueline Hart. There are 2 of each of these, the ephemera, the pockets, and the tags. And then there's 3 of all the other designs. So when they make these, they're thinking, okay, well, we need more than, you know, some people do like to journal and write. So they added a companion pack. And let me show you that. These are 8.5 by 11, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just regular paper size. So then you have, for the Petals and Letters, this is the companion pack. So you can purchase this to go with it. This is very helpful for if you're using it as a journal and as a planner. So let's go through this. All right. So the papers are repeated because the purpose of it is to add filler into your book so that you can do some journaling and writing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 10 of these with the lines. There's hearts and flowers, still the petals and the letter theme. And on the back, we have basically the same thing with no lines. Okay, again, you can just fold these in half. This direction or this direction. So 10 of those, and this is more of the browns, and then you have more of the grays, and there's 10 of these. So again, same pattern, just a different color. Flowers and hearts on both sides, one with lines, one without. And this is the part that I love. So there's 2 each of the gray and 2 each of the brown color, the vintage one. So this would be great for your planners. So on one side it has the to-do, top 3, a tracker, and notes. And on the other side you have a monthly calendar that you can add the month and the days. You can cut it in half and use it that way. And then on the other side, you just have a real pretty picture of the flowers. So wouldn't that be cool to have a yearly, like your traveler's notebook, or your, not necessarily traveler's notebook, but your actual junk journal, to have one for each month would be so cool. So then this is the same idea, just in the grays. And then on the back. Okay, so that's called the companion pack. Now they're also in the works of making like an ephemera pack, and each one of those would be different. So the owner of the store is looking for vintage, so it's hybrid, so vintage and newer things that you can put together as embellishment. So there's an embellishment kit that's going to be available, and no 2 are alike, okay? So there'll be actual ledger papers from the pet, like vintage stuff, vintage papers, coffee-dyed papers, tea-dyed papers, doilies, things like that. So look for that. That's coming. I don't have an example to show you right now, but I did pull some of my stuff to show you so that you can go scavenging. Is that the word? No. Go looking through your home. So I have just a bunch of vintage buttons. Some of them are more ornate than others. Okay, so you can add those to your pages. I have real old buttons that I would actually use the card itself in the junk journal, not just the buttons, but this actual card, and tuck it in somewhere. Look at how aged. Just love it. Just love it. So look for it through your buttons. If you have old patterns that you have, this paper is really fun to use. You can tear off pieces and put it on tags as a background just for a layering piece. So hold on to your patterns. I already showed you the old pictures. There are Tim Holtz, so it's hybrid. When we say old and new, there's Tim Holtz. Country Craft Creations had them for sale for quite a while. They were in the barn sale, so I don't know if they still have any, but they had new pictures that looked old. Okay, so the look was vintage, but these are actual old pictures. They're upside down. But I try and find pictures of, I just like the women and their outfits they had and the hairstyles, but then I also like the baby ones too. So I would add those. These I got at an antique store. I don't know if they're like Stereo Classics, the Holmes stereoscope. And then these are the same picture. I don't know if they were supposed to be folded. I don't know, but I just tried to find some that were like, these are children reading, having a pillow fight. So I picked some of those up at a vintage store, antique mall. So look for pictures. What else? So a lot of times you don't glue things down. You can just add things with paper clips. I might end up using some stain on these to make them look older, but these are just the little clips. I have some old tickets that I would use some ink on to make them look old and distressed that you could add and layer up with that. A lot of times you have washi tape and you're like, what do I do with that washi tape? It's great for adding embellishments, like to lay down a piece of paper or something and just put some washi tape on the corner to keep it down. Again, it's about layering. So look for old vintage looking Tim Holtz type washi tape. If you have dies, it's time to bust those out, because you can use your dies to add some interest to the corners of the pages. So here's some perfume bottles. So think about dies, and embossing folders for texture. So I oftentimes look for old wedding dresses, and then I just cut out some of the lace with the pearls to add just on the corner. So different types of wedding laces, and they also have different, this material, what is that called? I don't remember, but there's different types of wedding, like the satin also I use. Doilies, I cut out the inside and use that, but I would also use this round piece. I don't throw anything away like this, so I could use that for my layering. I have lots of old laces of different widths. This one is actually from the store Country Craft Creations, but again, I would add probably some ink to that, or I keep saying tie-dye, coffee stain it to make it look more vintage. I have no idea what that was, but I have that. This would be great to put like a picture on the inside, add some things off, buttons off to the side. You can look through your charms. I just grabbed a couple. I have a heart and a bird cage here, so look for charms. I have a variety of different sizes and colors of the silhouette. What do we call those? Oh my gosh. My mind went blank. What? Cameos. So these are just cheap rendition. Like I just found these in a button stash somewhere, but maybe you have real ones that you can incorporate. Look through your paper doilies and your cloth, your fabric doilies. And then again, this would be too new looking, so I would definitely tie-dye. Oh my gosh, stop saying tie-dye. Coffee dye them or ink them up. Look for old playing cards that you can work with. I wouldn't use that side, I'd use this side because they look aged along the edges. Look for maybe in at a garage sale an old church hymnal, so I'll rip out some pages of that. So much stuff to choose from. So in the kits that Tammy is putting together, she is doing some coffee dyeing of paper, and her coffee dyeing, she does an awesome job. She puts out like doilies and then lays them on top, like those old tablecloths that were plastic and had the patterns on them. So you can use tie-dye. Seriously, stop saying tie-dyed. Stop. It is coffee dyed or tea dyed paper. My goodness, once I got it in my head, I can't get it out. So this is beautiful. The texture is awesome. Or you can just use regular coffee stained paper and make it, you know, with no pattern on it. It still looks good. And I don't throw away anything. So if I used some of the paper and I had to cut some off, I'm still keeping this stuff. I'm not getting rid of even these little pieces because you can use them as layering pieces. Look for old, if you know how to sew, get some old fabric, rip it, stain it, and sew it to make little ruffle things, pleats. So that is a whole bunch of stuff. I also have, I finally get to use all this stuff. These are black, but I have other ones too. These garment pins, and you hang different things, whether it be a tag or a charm or whatever. So just think of the possibilities. You guys, I can't wait to dig in and actually make a junk journal for you and to show you the process, because it's kind of freeing, because you don't have to measure everything and you don't have to have everything precise. You can just put things on there the way you like it. So new collection, new hybrid junk journal collection series that will be coming out. This is the first. It has the companion pack. There will be embellishment kits that you can get and start rummaging. That's the word I was looking for earlier. Rummaging through your stuff that you can add to it to make it personalized. All right, run, don't walk to Country Craft Creations. If by some weird chance that they are out, they will, she prints them here in the US so she can have more printed. So thank you for joining me. I'm excited for this new collection, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy the ride also.